Hello team, welcome back. Welcome to Terraform training. Till now we have seen how we can create the custom AMI with the help of the Packer. Today we will see how we can create the custom AMI with the help of the Packer, as well as how we can consume that AMI with the help of the Terraform. So this lecture is going to be a combination of the Terraform plus Packer. So first let's try to understand the structure we are going to follow in this lab. So in this lab we are going to create few component. First we will create the VPC. After the VPC, we will create the security group. After the security group, we will create the EC2 instances, and that EC2 instance will use the custom AMI. So this EC2 instance will use the custom AMI, which will be created by the Packer. So this part of work will be created by the Terraform, and this part of work will be created by the Packer. Also, in this particular stuff, this VPC will be created by the module, right? This security group will use this VPC. The EC2 instance will also be created by the module, and the custom AMI will be created by the Packer. So this is a one part of resource, right, which have the VPC security group EC2 instance, which will be created by the Terraform, and this is the another part of the resource custom AMI, which will be created by the Packer. Custom AMI further will use few components. So this custom AMI will use the Nginx default, plus this will also use some custom configuration. So this is the complete model we are going to execute in this lab. We will create the VPC and the EC2 instance, which will use the modules. We will create the security group. The EC2 instance will use the VPC and the security group. This is being created by the Terraform. We will create the custom AMI, which will use default Nginx and some custom configuration. This will use the Packer, and this EC2 instance will basically use this custom AMI, right? So this is the complete execution flow. So let's go to the code editor and create the code files. So over here inside the Packer, I will create one more directory called deploy custom image. So here we are going to deploy the custom image, which will be the combination of the Packer and the Terraform. So if you remember, inside the Terraform project structure, we have created a project called modules. Then this module will have the create instance.tf and the vpc.tf. So what I will do, I will copy this complete module and paste it here in the deploy. So you can see we have the module, and inside the module we have the instances and we have the VPC. And from the VPC and the instances, what we will do, we will keep the VPC and we will remove the instances, right? So we have the deploy custom images. Inside the deploy custom images, we have the directory called modules, and inside the modules we have the vpc.tf and the variable.tf. If you want to go through with the vpc.tf, then we have already seen the same in the last lecture. We are using the source Terraform AWS module VPC, then name, CIDR block, availability zones, private subnet, public subnet, the default value or false. Then we have few output variables, my VPC ID, private subnet and the public subnet. So by this module we will create the VPC. Now inside the deploy custom images, we will create a new directory called custom AMI deployment, right? So outside the modules, we have created a new folder custom AMI deployment. Over here, first we will define the create instance.tf. So create a new file called create instance.tf. So in the create instance.tf, we need to define few things. We need to define the key value pair, we need to define the security group, and we need to define the definition for the EC2 instance. So let's define these definitions. So you can see we are defining few values over here, like the AWS key pair, which is public key path, which is level up underscore key, which is being defined from the public key path. Then we are defining the security group allow SSH. Over here we are taking the variable, the VPC ID I'm taking from the variable VPC ID. The name will be allow SSH, then the variable environment. Description is here, egress, ingress is defined, tags are defined. Then we are defining the AWS instance, and inside the name of my instance will be my instance. The AMI I am taking from the variable AMI ID. Similarly, instance type I am taking from the variable instance type. The subnet I am taking variable public subnets. The public subnet is the variable which you have defined inside your module. If you will go to the vpc.tf, over here you have the public subnet, right? Then we have the security group which we have defined at above side. Then we have the key which we have defined at above side. Let's create one more file called variable.tf, right? And over here we will define the variables which we need to use inside the create instance.tf. So we have created the variable.tf. We are using the public key path which we have defined over here, public key path. After the public key path, we are taking the environment, then we are taking AWS reason, and we are taking instance type. If you will go to the create instance.tf, then few variables are still missing. What variable are missing? The VPC ID is missing, the AMI ID is missing, and the public subnets are missing. So let's define these variable directly over here. So before creating the AWS instance, let's do one thing. Let's include a module over here, right? So I will include the VPC module over here. The module we defined over here, right? We will add that module in the create instance.tf. So we are calling a module like develop-vpc, then the source of the module, which is modules vpc. Environment will be taken from the variable.environment, which we have defined over here, which is development. And AWS region will be called from the variable AWS region, which we have defined over here, which is US East 2, right? So we have defined the module over here, and we know very well that the VPC ID we can read from this particular module. So we'll read the VPC ID from module, like module dot, then the module name, then the variable name, which we have defined over here. The output is my VPC ID. Similarly, we will read the public subnets. So we will read the public subnet like this. We will define element module development -vpc dot public subnets, and we will choose the 0th public subnet. We also need to define the provider, so we will define the provider over here as well. So we are defining the provider AWS and reading the reason from the AWS reason variable, right? So we have the variable which have default value. We have the create instance.tf which is already being defined. Still we have the question that how the AMI ID will be generated, right? How we will get the AMI ID from the variable AMI ID? For that we need to do something. For that we need to add few more resources over here. So let's save the created resources, and what we will do, we will copy the scenario2.json and we will paste it here inside the custom AMI deployment, right? Now we will modify this JSON as per our need. So first let's change the name over here. If you want, you can keep the same name. I want to change it, so I'm changing the name like install custom AMI, right? Now the variable will be same. We are not going to change anything inside the variables. The Amazon builder type will be same. I'm not going to change anything in the builder. The reason is same. I'm defining everything inside the US East 2. The source AMI filter, let's take it same. The machine type is same. SSH username, no change in it. AMI name will be same, or you can change it custom packer. The provisioners, so we need to remove few provisioners, so I'm removing all two provisioners and just taking one shell provisioner over here, right? Let's execute few files in this shell provisioner. So suppose in this provisioner I want to execute the same thing, install nginx.sh. So I need to create a sh file over here, new file called install underscore nginx.sh. Please make sure you will keep the same name of the file which you are taking inside your provisioner. So in the command, what I'm doing, I'm taking all the variables and setting all the variable in the environment variable or in the path of the AMI. So the provisioner is being defined. Only the thing which is remaining is the install nginx.sh. So in the install nginx.sh, I'm going to define the apt get update, apt get install nginx, and the docker IO. So these are the two software which basically I'm installing as a part of the default installation. Let's save this. So now we have our code ready. We have the create instance.tf, we have the packer template, we have the install nginx, we have the variable.tf modules. Just one thing is remaining, that how we will insert this particular AMI ID, the AMI ID which we are creating. So for this, let's do one thing. Let's create the variable and keep the AMI ID over here and keep it blank, right? So we are taking the empty variable for the AMI ID for now. After this, we will commit this code and we will go to the machine where we was executing the Terraform. So we are inside the Terraform directory and we will execute the git pull. Git pull get all the source inside the packer deploy custom image. We'll go to this directory, put ls over here And you can see we have the custom AMI deployment and the modules. We will go to the custom AMI deployments, put ls over here, and we have the variable.tf, install nginx.sh, install custom ami.json, and create instance.tf. Now what I will do, I will execute packer, validate, and install custom ami.json. Validation is done. We will build the packer. You can see the packer is initialized. It is creating the instance. If we will go to the AWS, refresh this, we are getting instance packer builder. We have to wait until this instance will be created and packer will execute all the custom configuration. So let's go to the logs of the packer and we have to wait. You can see it is creating the SSH connection with the machine and executing the provisioner. It is updating the packages. Then it will install the nginx and then it will install the docker IO. We have to wait until the nginx and the docker IO will be installed and a new image will be baked for my EC2 instance. You can see the all installation is done and it is waiting for the instance to stop. It is still waiting for the AMI to become ready. We have to wait until the AMI will be created and instance will be terminated. Now we can see the AMI is created in US East 2. Now what we'll do, we need to execute the Terraform init. You can see it is initializing the module VPC, downloading the VPC module from the registry.terraform.io. After the initialization, we will clear out the console and execute the Terraform apply. We will provide -var, then the AMI underscore ID, and we need to provide the AMI ID, which is being created by the packer. So if you don't note the ID, you need to go to the AWS, go to the AMIs, and this is the AMI we just created. So we need to copy this ID and provide it over here. Now hit enter. So this will start creating the AWS resources. Total 22 resources need to be created. Put yes, hit enter. We have to wait until all of the resources will be created. Now as soon as the resource creation is done, you need to go to the AWS, go to the EC2 instances, and we have the running instance development. Let's copy the external IP of this instance and let's log in this ssh hyphen your public IP hyphen l ubuntu hyphen I your key. Hit enter, put yes, and it is saying permission denied. Actually, I need to provide the complete path of my private key, which is like this. Hit enter, and you can see we are inside the machine which have the IP 10.0.101.239. Over here, let's clear out the console, and over here, if we will execute apt list hyphen hyphen installed, then we will get the list of the installed packages on this machine. So let's wait, what are the packages installed on this machine? So we are getting a lot of packages. Let's clear out the console and let's see if nginx is installed or not. So grep nginx, and yes, nginx is default installed on this machine. Let's check for the docker IO as well, and yes, docker is also installed on this machine. So if you remember, I don't install the nginx and the docker on this machine. So how the docker and nginx is being already installed on this machine? Because we are using the custom AMI, and on the custom AMI we have installed the docker and nginx as a part of the image. So we downloaded the Ubuntu image, then installed few software on it, and then we created the custom AMI which is being installed or executed on this EC2 instance, so that all the configuration we have done on that AMI, that is present on this machine. So we don't need to install the application at runtime. Everything will be installed by default if we are using the packer. If you want to verify, let's execute curl localhost, and you can see we are able to access the nginx. If you want to check the docker, so let's execute docker pull nginx latest. Let's see what we will get, and we are getting the permission denied because the docker sort connection is not created, but docker is installed on my machine. So this is the way how we can create the custom AMI and how we can create the instances with that custom AMI. Let's execute Terraform destroy, so that we will remove all the resources which is being created as a part of this configuration. We will keep the AMI on the AWS because we will use that same AMI in the coming lectures. So this is the way how we can create the custom AMI with the help of the Packer, and how we can use the same AMI with the help of the Terraform to create the AWS resources. So team, if you have any doubt, any question, you can let me know. Thank you team. Thanks for your time.